Do it when
No.
you want him to. That's the problem.
Yeah. Does he understand no?
Yeah, no. Don't.
No, don't. Stop.
Stop.
Yeah.
There's
Do you think it's the word or the tone of voice he knows?
the tone
The tone of
more
voice.
than the word.
Do you
Yeah, sometimes he understands. Sometimes he understands. If he's being naughty,
yes.
even without a tone, you knows you know what I mean.
Does he say he's running towards the road and you need him to stop and you yell out stop? Will he?
I would say he would under normal circumstances.
Yes.
But sometimes he's excited, and if he's in his world and he's seen something that he likes,
Yeah.
you have to yell it pretty loudly so that why are you doing this, you know, and then but it doesn't stop because you're communicating with this. You're stopping because you have raised your voice.
Yes,
in fact, that's the way we enforce stuff with him. We raise our voices in order for him to, maybe you're right, we shouldn't be raising the voice
well, it's
in order
so
to
one of
get
the
compliance,
things, well, it's hard though, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
he doesn't. You can't explain to him why, don't run on the road because there's cars coming and you might get hurt.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
doesn't understand that.
Exactly.
So I think there are some times where you just have to get the message across, and if that involves yelling because it's a safety risk, or like he's going towards the hot stove or something, whatever you need to do to make him not touch that stuff.
Exactly.
If it's, however, like he calmed down quite, even though I did something he didn't want me to do, he didn't get overly upset. Is that normal, or would you expect him to get more upset than that?
Sometimes it's even more than that, especially if he's engrossed in that. Like, it's just that I don't think he had that much of a connection with that.
Does he often do this? So he's lining up the little squares here. Does he often do that?
Yeah, he's got blocks at home that he likes to do that.
Does he line up or build a tower?
He lines up, not building up.
Yeah. So the other thing.
Did he do it in order?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
There
And did he do that?
He's excited. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of that too.
Lots of that.
Yeah, I'd say.
So,
well, when he's alone, and
have you had any other thoughts about what might be going on with him?
Well, I mean, that lady, she said autism. She's on the spectrum.
How do you feel about that?
Look, what I've realized about it here is in Africa, that word doesn't. Well, it's there, but it's not even.
Like it is here?
It's not defined. It's not talked about. It's not that it's a taboo. Maybe it's just that they don't understand it.
Sure.
So people would like me. When I was born, I was slow in speaking. My brother's daughter, who's, I think she's now 4, she's doing more or less like what Anotila is doing, not speaking that quickly. My sister, firstborn daughter, also wasn't quick. So most of the cases we just use those kind of like slow to speak. Yeah, like they're slow to speak. Eventually they catch up. Like her daughter now, she can talk. It's just like it just changed, and all of a sudden she's talking. Now the issue about the spectrum, I don't know. They say he's probably high end because he can count, he can do all sorts of these things. But I don't know. So in my own opinion, I thought it just needs time. He just needs time. Maybe it's because I don't understand the autism, how it works, but I know through time it will improve. It's just that here in this country, even in South Africa, in YouTube, they say at 3 years the guy, he should be talking, he should be going under, he should be speaking all these words and all that jazz, but he doesn't. So it's just, that's why it's concerning us, and that's why we are taking this. And even at school, they've raised the issue that he's not doing what other normal kids of his age are doing.
I can't diagnose autism at all. The reason we get involved in the process at all is because obviously their communication is affected.
Yes.
And so I've seen lots of autistic children.
Yeah.
And there are some things that we refer to as kind of red flags.
Yeah.
So behaviours that we might see in a child
that
are sort of more typical of children on the spectrum versus children who aren't on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And then we sort of we would then refer on for a diagnosis. But so the person I would refer you to is Dr. Wilkinson, but you're already in there, so you're already in the process.
But do you think he has got quite a few red flags?
I have a feeling, yes. So I guess it's the kinds of things I'm seeing. So the lining up of the toys. So one of the biggest things we look at with children at this age, particularly before they have any language, is how they play. Because how they play is how they've made sense of their world. Yeah. So things at this age, they pick up something and pretend it's a phone, and they might pace the room. It's classic as a parent. You see your own behaviours imitated in your children. And pretend it's a phone. They would build a tower and then they would knock it over, and they wouldn't necessarily line it up. With the cars as well, he was able to repeat what I was doing by putting them down, but then he didn't extend the game. He didn't then pretend to drive the car and do anything else with it. And I'd expected him to drive it around, and when I brought the fire engine, I would have expected him to go, oh, Nina, Nina, and then have a crash and the fire engine comes to save it. There's none of that pretend play.
Okay.
And so in terms of, we don't, it's those other things like where they might carry a teddy bear and cuddle it properly because they've been cuddled and they've seen other people cuddle stuff, and they know that with a teddy bear you cuddle it. You might give them pretend to have a tea party with him, and he'll pick up the cup and pretend to drink because he knows that's what you do with a cup, that sort of stuff. So there's limited demonstration from him about the representation of his world around him through his play. The other things are...
But what causes that, really?
So the cause is a really difficult question to answer because I can't say if it's autism or not. But in terms of, he hasn't quite, because he's been in his own little world, he hasn't quite taken note of what's going on around him.
But is it because there's something that we have done, or how we have...
No. So it's nothing to do with what you have and haven't done, because you've given him a beautiful stimulating, preschool creates a stimulating environment that I can't recreate, and neither can you. I mean, think about the toys and the teachers and the art and the craft and no one can recreate that. So you have given him a beautiful stimulating environment. You have followed up with stuff, and you've done everything right. It's nothing that parents do. It's just that for whatever reason, because he's not engaging and interacting, he hasn't learned how to model those behaviours. So if you think about all of the language development children do is through interacting. You have to talk to someone to learn the language. If you go to another country, for example, and you don't speak the language, and then you don't actually interact with that, you won't ever learn how to speak that language. So you need that interaction before you can get language development. But so we look at play, we look at his understanding, the fact that he doesn't know when to use the words. So it's not that he doesn't know them, he just doesn't know when to use them, which again comes down to that interaction stuff. I guess too, he's 3 now, and so by 3 they should have sentences of 3 to 4 to 5 words. He should be following 2 to 3 step instructions, at least 2. He should understand a variety of words, and by now at 3 they should move out of that playing alongside their peers and move into playing with their peers. It's the 3 and 4 is the ages where they start to do things like pretending to be their favourite character on TV. And they work out who's going to be a superhero, who's going to be Spider-Man, who's going to be Batman, going to go, that sort of stuff. Yes, it's nearly 3 and a half. I think too, the other thing I would have expected of, he did do that little bit where I told him off and he ran to you. But I would have expected a little bit more of, he hasn't really interrupted us. So we've been in here for 45 minutes and he hasn't really gone, Dad, 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 Dad. And so if typically this age, particularly because they're old enough to know that they're bored, they'd interrupt us and we'd be having this, be doing those conversations. We'd be like, hang on, mate, Daddy's talking. And then you'd keep talking to me. And I guess the other thing too is the limited eye contact and that sort of fleeting. I'm a tool to help play with the toys, but I'm not someone that needs to be interacted with, which you've seen at home yourself. So there's a couple of things that is, like I said, those red flag kind of behaviours, but I can't diagnose him, and nor would I. What I can diagnose is that yes, he's language delayed, and he's language delayed both in his understanding and in his expression. So he's delayed in both. I can't tell you exactly how delayed because I can't test him. It wouldn't be fair. So any test that I have to test this age will make me compare him to children who have a more typical pattern of development. So at the moment, he's kind of following his own little developmental path. He's not following the typical pattern of other children. So if I compare him to those children, it's not fair.
Fair,
It's like comparing
okay.
apples and oranges.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not fair on him. So that's why we do the play-based assessment. But I think I will put him down on that waiting list for It Takes Two.
Yeah.
So you'll be on that list.
Okay.
And then I think we should wait to see what Dr. Wilkinson
Says,
says.
yeah.
And then after that, so because she's in the system, I can access all of her notes and reports
Oh,
and stuff.
all right.
So I'll be able to look him up and check.
Yeah.
And she will be the best person to advise you as to what to do next.
Okay.
So if she says he's just a bit delayed and there's nothing else going on, then you'll come into that It Takes Two program.
All right.
If she does say there's something else going on with him, so if she does think he's on the spectrum or there's anything else going on, he actually won't be eligible for services through us.
Oh, all right.
But he will be eligible for the NDIS. Have you heard of the NDIS?
No.
No. So the NDIS is it stands for the National Disability Insurance Scheme, and there's an early intervention service. So it doesn't mean that he will need it for his whole life. But what they have done is they've developed an early intervention arm of that NDIS,
Okay.
which is for children up to the age of 7. A range of children with a range of abilities and a range of issues. So it's not necessarily just autism. It's like so children. Some of our kids who just have language issues are eligible for this. So you get this early intervention service because the research supports the earlier the intervention, the better. And so you can access some therapy services through that. It also means if he needs, you get funding from the government. If he needs speech therapy, occupational therapy, psychology services, whatever. Okay. So if she says he's eligible for that, then you'll go through the process of applying for that funding through the government, and then off you go. But because you're being funded by the government then, and we're also funded by the government, you can't do both because it's double dipping.
Oh, okay.
See
That's
what I
why
mean?
they call double dipping.
That's
Okay.
why they separate them. So, but either way, you have your options. You've got if he's not on the spectrum, then you come through us. And if he is on the spectrum, you'll get funding from the government. So either way, you'll have a therapy. He needs therapy either way, okay, whether he's on the spectrum or not. Absolutely, he needs therapy. So you've done the right thing bringing him.
Yeah.
It's just we need to work out whether he has it through us or whether he has it through a private clinician that is paid for by the NDIS.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then we'll go from there. So what I'm going to suggest you do is we will write up a report, which you'll have within about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. And then by the time you see Helen, so Dr. Wilkinson, our report will be on the system.
Okay.
So she'll know what we've said and what our plan is.
Yep.
And then I'm going to suggest, let me have a think. If you can give us a call, because we kind of shut down over Christmas.
Oh, all right.
If you can give us a call in February next year.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's too late. Are you going away in January at all?
No,
you're home? Okay. So in the report, I'll say, if you can give us a call, I'm back from leave on the 15th of January.
Okay.
If you give us a call then, we'll know then what Dr. Wilkinson said, and we'll know what the plan is. So it'll either be that we will send you out invitations of It Takes Two to Talk program, and you can work out how that works. Or it'll be that we're going to hand over to the other clinician, the NDIS, and we'll hand him over. But either way, if you ring in the early January, because It Takes Two to Talk, I know starts on the first appointment will be in the week beginning the 29th of January.
January, okay.
Yes, January. So give us a call on the 15th.
Okay.
Is that all okay?
I think that should be fine.
Do you have any questions about what I've said?
So is this severe for his age, or is moderate, or
yeah, good question. I'd say it's moderate to severe.
Okay.
Because he's 3-4, so he's over 3. And he wouldn't have up to 1,000 words.
Well, look, the thing is, he doesn't. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. 1,000 is a bit is a lot. Yeah.
So I guess I think part of the problem is for us too is it's really hard to assess him because he doesn't respond when we need him to.
That's the problem.
I mean?
Yeah.
So we can't. I can't. So that's why I'm sort of umming and ahhing about the moderate to severe, because I can't actually sit him down and go, where's up, where's on, where's under, where's the car, where's the bottle. He won't respond when we need him to. He's actually very hard to assess properly anyway. But I guess it's that interaction stuff that.
But how come it doesn't help? Like there, you heard him say "bus" or just now.
Yes.
I mean, all these words, but they're not culminating into Communication. I mean,
because he's talking to himself.
oh, okay.
So he's in his own little world, and
Yeah.
so he said bus because he's seen a bus and he's right.
Yeah.
But he's not bringing the bus to you. So daddy bus.
Yeah.
So that step is missing. That interaction that I need to tell someone
Yeah.
that I've got a bus.
Yeah.
It's just that he's gone bus. So it's
Alright.
like us walking along the street going tree.
Yeah.
car.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything to anybody else, but to him it does. And he obviously knows that that's a bus, and he knows what. So in that case, we can say, look, he is understanding part of what we say to him because he's learnt that that's a bus. And if we hadn't said it, he wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can say that he obviously understands something. What I can't say is how much, how well, because he won't say it on cue. He won't say it when we ask him to.
Yeah.
So because he's missing that step, that interaction, that I need to tell someone this.
Okay.
That he's very happy to tell himself. So yeah, does that kind of answer that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions I think that we can't really answer, and nor will we be able to answer until we work out where what else is going on
with him. Okay.
Yeah. Is this just a communication problem?
Okay.
Or is there another reason to he's the way he is? If there's another reason as to the way he is, that will answer a lot of our questions.
Okay, all right.
If he's not, then we need to do the therapy to teach him how to do what he's not doing.
Okay.
But if he is on the spectrum, how we teach him will change.
All right.
Because if he is on the spectrum, so we've got It Takes Two to Talk. If he is on the spectrum, Hannah have another program called More Than Words, which is designed for children on the spectrum.
Oh, but then we won't come to you guys.
No, that's why we don't run it. But there are other people that do so, like Life Start run it, Early Ed run it. So there are other therapy providers, non-NGO, non-government therapy providers that will be able to give you the right program for him. So basically what we're trying to do is go, okay, what's going on with him? Because we need to support him, we need to give him therapy, but what's the best process? And it depends on whether it's just communication or whether there's more going on. If there's more going on, we're not the right service because it's a specialised area. If he's not on the spectrum, then we absolutely can help him. We just have to work out what's best for him. And I need more information from Dr. Wilkinson before I can tell you exactly what the best port of call is for him.
All right.
Okay. All right, Mr. Moon.
All right,
So
that's
do you have
fine.
any other questions?
Yeah, no, not for now. Just a problem. My wife couldn't.
Look,
she would have had questions.
Well, I'm very happy for her to ring me later. So
okay, she will see the video and then she can call
ring
you.
me totally fine.
Ah, perfect.
Okay, so what I'm going to do.
What is your number?
I'll write it down for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So it's hard. I know. My husband takes my kids anywhere. He puts me on loudspeaker. But you can't for this sort of thing. It depends how long the appointment is.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to put in here my email address.
Yeah, please.
So you can email me.
Thank you.
But I'm very happy to chat to her on the phone if she has other questions. I may not be able to answer them all, but I will try. It just kind of depends on what happens next. Okay?
So, I mean, what worries me is school hasn't helped him that much. I can't say since we took him to school, he has changed at all. That's my problem.
And usually it would. So typically, if a child who has just language, you put them into an environment like that, their language
they'll pick it up.
explodes.
They'll pick up just like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's not. And again, that comes down to that interaction. Is he interacting with his teachers? Is he interacting with his peers? If he's not interacting, he won't be learning the language in the way that he typically should. So it's kind of what it comes. But that's why we need Dr. Wilkinson's help to rule out or rule in stuff to help us answer these kinds of questions.
Oh, all right. No, that's fine. I think it's okay. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So we just have to wait on Dr. Wilkinson.
Wait on Dr. Wilkinson.
So in the meantime, what do you suggest we do for him?
I would. So kids at this age learn best through experience.
Okay.
Okay. So if you take him to the park, talk about things like going up the ladder and down the slide and across the bridge and under the bridge and over the bridge, and talk about running and skipping and jumping and hopping when he can actually do it.
Okay.
Or you can show him.
Okay.
Yeah. Because say you go to the beach and you talk about how the sand is hot and then it's cool and the water's wet and the waves are crashing. so that he can hear and touch and feel and see all of these words as well as you labeling it for them. The other thing I would do is keep any labeling you do with him relatively consistent. So if you, I'm trying to think of a situation. Say, you talk about, oh no, that's not going to work. Let me rephrase. If you're talking about drinks with him, rather than saying to him, do you want a drink? Say to him, do you want juice or water? Or do you want juice or milk? Or milk or water? So you've given him a choice. And if he actually looks at it or points to it, say, oh, you want milk? Okay, so rather than just try not to anticipate all of his needs. When you can, stop and give him a choice. But obviously give him a choice that you'd be happy for him to make, because you really have to follow through. So don't say, do you want chocolate milk or milk? Chocolate milk, you're like, nah, we'll get milk. So make sure you can follow through with that, and then go from there. But I think, they learn through experience. So give him experiences to learn new things.
And phones and iPads and
I have no problem with them in moderation.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I mean, because look, we all use them. I've got 2 kids too. I'm like, shh, look at my phone. So I have no problem with them at all, as long as it's in moderation. I only have a problem with them if the kids sit there hours and hours and hours and hours on end, and only because you're stopping him from interacting with you. So the other thing is, it depends on what they're watching. I don't like shows like In the Night Garden or Teletubbies, because the characters don't actually talk.
Oh, right.
I prefer things like Play School. Give me other kids' shows, Marie. Play School, Sesame Street, Peppa Pig, Thomas the Tank Engine, where the characters actually talk. Okay, Thomas the Tank Engine, they don't really talk, but they've got really good facial expressions. But try and pick, Chuggington. I don't even know what's on ABC2 anymore. That's half my battle. But anything where the characters talk and they talk properly. So Peppa Pig, the kids are talking properly. So try and get into shows where it's actually people talking.
So do you suggest we shut out all the other stuff that he likes? And
not necessarily, because everybody needs downtime. So if that's his downtime, let him have it. In the same way that, we sit down at the end of the day and have our favourite show as downtime. But just be mindful of what he is watching. So it depends on the YouTube video that it is. If it's a random YouTube video that is not really helpful, like I know my kids love those toy review videos and they're random. Sure, but then maybe the next time he watches something, try and put on Play School or put on Sesame Street or put on something where they're actually talking properly. Okay, so it's not the problem with the screens, it's just being mindful of what he's watching.
Okay.
All
right, so that's fine. I think that's fair. That's good.
But yeah, I'm very happy to chat to your wife on the phone if she needs to. Not a problem at all.
I will.
I'm in the office today and tomorrow. I'm out of the office on Friday morning, but I'm in on Friday afternoon. Okay? But I work full time, so if she doesn't get to me this week, next week's fine too. Hey, Tida, time to stop. Time to pack away.
Tida, pack your toys.
Time to finish. Time to pack up. Pack away. Pack away. He's like, no.
Thank you so much, Doctor.